What's up,
Well,
everybody? It's your
brother.
boy Skinny Moose. We brought on Dred. So let's kick it off. What made you become a wrestler?
Uh, I grew up watching Lucha Libre, like La Triplia and CMLL,
Well,
and just watching that with my family got me into all different avenues of wrestling, and then always thought about doing it, but then eventually, after years of playing in bands and stuff like that, and being on the road, I decided I would try to give it a shot, like right before COVID, um, and then yeah, the rest is history.
Yes. So, how did you and Steve and Jerry come about and get connected?
Well, I met Jury uh, through mutual friends, and he had wanted to get into representing wrestlers, and I would get in a lot of trouble sometimes, especially just like I not very liked a lot of times by the fans. And there's been a couple times where early in my career I would fight some fans, or it would turn into that.
Yeah.
Um, so I got connected with him, and then he he and I started talking. He talked about wanting to be in the wrestling business, how he can think he can contribute to it, and yeah, he helped a big part of my career of getting me. Although he's not very liked, he's been a big part of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, getting me into these positions. But I mean, who likes any lawyer? You know, who likes any lawyer? But he got me into a lot of marquee positions and matchups and opportunities to be where I'm at. So he's he always has a place in Dred's camp, you know.
He's like, I definitely got to say, he's like a Paul Heyman type. Like, he's good at pissing the fans off, and he takes really good care of you and the
He does.
matches. So I'm like, oh, he pisses me the fuck off. I'll admit it, but I'm like, but I see where he's coming from. I see where he's coming from. So he does his job. He does his job great.
Exactly. And it's sometimes you need someone in your corner that will do anything to help you. And
Yes, sir.
he's done a lot for me. So
Yes, sir. So, do you or have you ever thought about selling replicas of your gravel? Gavel?
I used to. It was just so expensive to get them up front and made. I do have. I was thinking about putting them up. Ever since I dropped, the moniker, I found a bag of like 4 or 5 gavels because I used to basically get them from thrift stores or antique stores when I'd find them. So very few times did I like order them online because they they weren't real wood. And
Yeah.
and you go watch it back, and you ask guys like Big Joe from the UK. I really hit you with the gavel, like you're getting hit.
Mm.
So he didn't think I did. I clocked him in the head, and he was like, "There's no way it hurts that bad." Like, cause they roll around for a minute with it. It hurts pretty bad, and yeah, I would have to find the solid wood ones because a lot of people don't know that in a gavel, if you unscrew a side with the sides there, there's metal in them. There's like these little
Oh, shit.
there's nickel plates that are heavy and weighted. That's what makes that sound. So I need that in there because I want the weight to hit somebody. So I would have to check them and look. I found a bag of like 4 or 5. I might sell those ones off, but most of the time, what I was doing for like the last probably 7 months of being the judge was I would use a gavel and then put it right on my merch table after the show and sell the gavel that was just used, and it always gets sold. So
Have you ever thought about, or would you ever do a Carnage Cup?
yeah, I'll fight anybody anywhere.
Fuck yeah, I
I got
love
no
to see
problem.
a Carnage Cup.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll fight anywhere if the money's right and there's someone that I haven't fought that I want to fight to prove I'm the best. Yeah, anytime, anywhere.
I like that. So, will you speak on TOD 20 when Big Joe put you in the body bag and beat the shit out of you even after the ref called the match?
Well, I didn't get pinned, didn't get submitted.
That's true.
So I mean, technically, I feel like I should have continued on. And Big Joe ended up winning that year, so I feel like I should have gotten a shot at the trophy. And we haven't seen Big Joe since he lost the last 2 years. But I will say that was one of the most brutal attacks I've ever endured. Not just because the bag, it was the gas and not being able to breathe in there with all the
Oh,
tubes and stuff. And
yeah.
then I broke my hand because my first instinct when like I got hit in the back of the head with a chair and it woke me up. And I put my hand like this to cover my head and I just kept getting hit. And eventually my hand just broke. And so I think I wrestled the next weekend in Chicago against Otis Cogar. And I had a full cast on my hand. Like they asked me if I was gonna be able to fight. And I'm like, I'm fighting with this cast. I don't care.
That was one of my questions when you broke your hand. Fuck yeah, that was crazy though, dude.
Yeah, it was awful. It was all broken in. I think I broke it in like it was like three places. I broke it in three places. It hurt
Damn.
so bad.
How was it being trained at Paul London's wrestling school?
The toughest thing I've ever done in my life. I initially broke into the business um, down in San Diego, and then got the fundamentals down, and then I started getting into death matches because a big mentor of mine, Terex, who's from Southern California, is a big legend. He he really helped me out with just that kind of like fighting mentality because he'll fight anybody,
Yeah.
anybody. I mean, when you're 400-pound monster, I feel like it's easy to just fight anybody. But um, he helped me kind of connect with Paul, and I'd worked a show with Paul, and we got to talking and talking and talking. And then one day I hit up Paul because I'd heard he was talking about opening a school, and I said I wanted to get more. I wanted to get better. I wanted to get beyond just deathmatch wrestling. I wanted to. I got the violence down. I was able to, you know, I was able to endure more punishment than my opponents were able to take. So that I got that, then I was winning matches. But a lot of times that I was losing was because I was out wrestled. And so he's one of the best. And I hit him up, and he was very happy to take me on. He knew I was going to do deathmatch wrestling, and he's tough as nails. He's tough as nails. Like I don't think people realize. Like I think everyone thinks like cruiserweight champion Paul London, and they forget about Ring of Honor Paul London. They forget about Lucha Underground Paul London. I mean, I've wrestled Paul a handful of times, and he's one of the toughest wrestlers I've ever wrestled.
Oh
Like
shit.
like hands down. Like it's one of those things. Like I got to go into it with the mindset of like this is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be a fight. He'll kick you right in your fucking teeth. He's stomped me right in the back of my neck, like double
God,
stomp.
yes.
Like he gives no fucks about it. Like dude, he's throwing garbage at me, like bags of garbage in a bar filled with bottles, like glass thick bottles, and he's swinging at my
Oh,
head. Yeah, dude, he's been around. He's road tripped and trained with Terry Funk. He was at the Shawn Michaels school. Like Paul is he's no joke. And the work rate on him, the work rate, he just never gets tired. That's the other part. You wrestle this dude and he's beating the piss out of you. So then you fight back, even though I've got maybe 100 pounds on him. Nah, he's probably like about almost 200, if that. He's a cruiserweight. He's under 205 still, I know. So I'm a I'm walking around. I'm 278. So close to 100 pounds was full, and I'm giving him all my weight behind him, and he does not slow down.
that's fucking
So I'm like,
crazy.
no, this is insanity. So being trained by him was awesome. He has such a brilliant mind for wrestling. He knows more than just a cruiserweight style of wrestling. In fact, a lot of the um, some people give me kudos on like my suplexes and my catch wrestling. That's all from Paul. I mean, that was like the first week that we were together. That's all we did was that
Shit.
until my elbows and knees were bleeding. So I was like, ugh, rough.
Now you still being trained with Paul?
Yeah, I still train every week. Right now he's in Australia and they're moving the facility, Kayfabe Academy. I think they're moving it towards the Inland Empire, which is where I live in California. It's like right between LA, which is north, and San Diego. Um, so he's right now he's in Australia. When he comes back, they're doing that, and then I come train with the boys and help out when he needs it. I also help train locally here at a school called Valley Wrestling Connection. I train there, but I also train with the beginners and intermediates, and teach when I can.
Oh hell yeah!
So if you're out in California, you ever want to get stretched out by Dred, you can stop by. I'll help you.
Oh, yeah. So what's it like, and how did you become a part of the Blood Fighter?
It really just came down to me and Alex Cologne and Joel Bateman. And I've hung out with Clint and them too, which is cool. But it started with Alex. Me and Alex, as someone I looked up to in this sport, not just because of his accomplishments in deathmatch wrestling. He's a phenomenal wrestler, a phenomenal technician. He can work lucha. He can work a technical style. He can work a high flying style. He has such intensity. And so we started getting connected just online because we also collect action figures and toys. And so we were just chat about that. And then we were on a couple shows together, me, him, and Joel. We would hang out. And then we were just talking about hanging out some more. We were gonna be at Mania in Philadelphia all together. And then just they sprung it on me right before a show. We did the Eat the Turnbuckles Bloody Battle Royal. Before that, they came and gave me a jersey and asked if I wanted to be a part of it, and I was like, absolutely. It'd be
Fuck yeah!
so. It's awesome.
What's your hobbies out of the ring?
Outside of the ring, I really wrestle a lot. Other than that, I do photography and videography. I have a passion for it. I mean, a lot of people always comment on the quality of my promos, not just what I say, but just like the capturing of it. I just have a big passion for that photography. I love good food, and I love baseball a lot. Me and Jury, actually, whenever we wrestle in the summer, we try to catch a baseball game somewhere we've never been, like a ballpark we've never been to. Watch a lot of baseball. It's like the most exciting time of the year, October coming up. But other than that, collecting memorabilia, action figures, not just wrestling stuff. I collect Alien and Predator Kenner figures, vintage shirts. I like camping. I like a lot of outdoor things. Big into camping. Huh?
You like hunting? You like hunting and stuff?
I've never been hunting, so I live in California. There's not really much to hunt. It's mostly like snakes and there's scorpions. I'm like in the desert, but I do love camping. A lot of I'm more into like the survivalist, if you will. I guess that's the deathmatch guy in me is how long I could survive. So like, I have a go bin. It's like an old giant. I don't have it here with me. Gosh, big old Pelican case. It's huge, and it's got my tent, my sleeping stuff, freeze dried foods, long shelf life foods, canister cookware, like things. It all packs under one bin. Like if shit hit the fan, I can hit the mountains and be like good for a while.
Oh yeah.
So that's something I like to do. So I mean, out here fishing, I do fishing, but I mean, like most of what I like to do is just like doing living off just like planning to how long can I go and ration out food and be in the desert. That's kind of it.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea to cast his feet to the ring post in King of the Kill 2?
Literally that day. I was like, on the because I fought in Cass a good amount of times, and Cass is like one of my more formidable opponents because although we came from different coasts completely, the mindset of just like fighting anywhere, no ring needed. We'll probably fight. I've even thought about like people ask us about like, hey, you guys should tag. You guys are like very similar, but at the end of the day, we just like fighting each other. because it just keeps us both sharp. And so I know we've done the last man standing, we've done no ring, we've done it in a ring, we've done it uh, all over. And so, yeah, that was one that I just thought about. I was like, if I can't get this guy to stay down, because if he's anything like me, he won't stay down.
Yeah,
So he won't. Like his mind and his will won't let him, and it becomes second nature to just get up. And even if you start falling, but all he needs is to get to his feet for a second for it to break a count, you know. So my thought was just, okay, if he's like me, what would stop me from getting up? And the only thing I could think of is if my legs didn't work. So just if I remove his legs, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you would like to call out for a match?
No, they can call me out. They can call me out though all day long. I mean, I don't really think about fighting anybody because to me, my goal and mission has always been to just get better and to show how good I am. And some of the people I would have called out, I've all fought before, and now I know what to do to get better. You know, like the Schlacks and Necro Butchers and Masadas, and they've all beaten me. Now it's just me getting better and better to get back at them and prove I'm at that next level. But otherwise, there's especially after TOD, there's plenty of people who've asked to fight me, and I have no problem obliging them with beating the fucking brakes off them. So,
Damn. You made it straight to the break.
Will you say the Wolverine claws Pondo used on you at TOD 21 is one of the worst things you've had on your head? Used on your head?
that was pretty bad. That's not the worst. It was. I wouldn't even. I would put it in the top 10. Top 10. Wouldn't top 5, but it hurts. But in terms of things that have hurt on this head, there's a few memorable ones where I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking hurt.
What's your top 3?
First off the rip, 3, is when Otis Kogar and I fought at King of the Deathmatch in LA and a dog collar, and he took my gavel and he took his straight razor and he put it to my head and he banged it into my head because his razor is so sharp, and that's what caused all that bleeding. A lot of people were like, yo, are you good? And it was like, as soon as he hit it, I heard in my ears all my capillaries pop, and as soon as I like moved away and looked down, it looked like a fucking waterfall, and I was like, oh my gosh, there was instant headache, instant lightheadedness. So it was so much the pain of it hurt, but it was also like the lasting fatigue. Like I felt like as the match progressed, I'm losing so much blood, which is losing so much oxygen that I'm like, sluggish. That was 3. 2, Two would probably, yeah. 2's probably gonna definitely be at King of the Kill. Black just out of nowhere swung a chair, and the end of the chair hit me right in the head, and my ears were ringing. I was like, oh, I didn't know where I was. And then he proceeded to break glass and then grind it into my face, and my head was still throbbing from the chair. So I was like, oh fuck. The worst thing ever in my head is when Masada skewered me. Like he skewered me like 3 times in the head. And there's something I've been skewered by Atticus, and that hurts too. That's probably like number 4. But no, it's just Masada is dry. I could feel, and if you watch it back, someone had like a slow motion video of it. You could see the skewers hitting my skull, and it's like knocking my face skin, like as just like he hits your skull, and you can feel it hit your skull, and it's just knocking and knocking and knocking, and he's elbowing him, and you're like, oh, and then he's actually grinding him, so that you can hear in your ear. The scary part is you hear in your ear, like it's scraping your skull. You hear like the in your ear. You're like, oh, it's to the point where you almost don't register anything else. Where you're like, this hurts so bad. And the week after, I felt like a Cro-Magnon because my head was so swollen. I could see my forehead leaning over my eyes. It was so throbbing and swollen.
Fucking God.
It hurts. It hurts so bad. Yeah, that was the worst thing I've ever taken to the head. It was, yeah, shit, that sucked.
Jesus. What's your opinion on explosions, considering you've done some and been in them?
It hurt really bad. They hurt very bad, and they can actually cause some serious damage. I mean, people don't realize that, like, some people may have seen that I had like a huge gash down my back at TOD, and it wasn't just from a piece of glass. It's that when I fell off that balcony, explosions are C4, so it's this pressure hitting you. So it's like somebody, like, in one area, like, just as hard as they can, like a beanbag being shot at you. So you feel the pressure pushing you. So it already hurts because, like, knocking the wind out of you, like, for a second. And there's glass on top of that table. So then I'm getting sliced open while something explodes. So it's blowing my wound open. So that's why my gash was so big, because I hit all that glass and exploded, and I landed right on a charge, and it blew my back clear open. And then I was just on adrenaline after that, because then I got elbow dropped and then a kicked out of one, because I was like, the elbow drop kind of woke me up. Like, I was laying there for a bit, like, oh God, my back. And that I was in that water filling it with blood because my back was wide open. And then as soon as I got elbow dropped, my adrenaline kind of kicked in again. I was like, oh, so it was rough.
Do you have a favorite TV show, book, movie, video game, etc.?
Video game wise, I literally only play MLB The Show a lot. I play MLB The Show. As far as book, I read a lot of nonfiction, so I don't really have like a favorite book. I just find a topic that I find interesting, and then I'll read on it.
I understand.
And then TV show. I don't ever rewatch a show. If I'll watch it once, then I'm done with it. You know, maybe I would say if I had to pick one, it'd be like Dexter. I love Dexter. Mostly just because it makes you fucking anxious. Like, it's like, this guy's gonna get caught. But yeah, I watch a lot. I watched every episode of Dexter and the new stuff. And then movie wise, I used to like to just keep it pretty chill. Like, I don't like to watch anything kind of crazy like that. It's mostly funny stuff. Once in a while. Mostly it's like I like to think a lot in my spare time. I do a lot of thinking. And so anything that makes me think and provokes thought. So
I respect that.
Yeah.
Which one hurts worse in your opinion? Dog collar matches or strap matches?
Probably the dog collar. Just because you get whipped with both of them, they hurt. I think the sting of the whip is pretty bad, but yeah, that chain will grind your skin. It's like road rash. So I've been hit hard with some chains, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that again.
So, what's it like being in the finals of TOD 21 and 22, almost winning both times, and it slips through your fingers? I mean, TOD 23, you have to take TOD 23 home. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's not the plan. You go in there hoping to win. I used to be more angry about it just because it's like I should have had it. But dwelling in the past does nothing. And I have to hang my hat on the small victories and then just go back and get better. I mean, last TOD 21, I really relied heavily on jury to kind of get me to those finals. Whereas this year, I felt like I held my own more. I kind of came into my own. I mean, there's no every competitor that steps in the ring, they got to earn my respect, and they have some of it because they've gone through and put their bodies through it. But I mean, from 21 to 22, beating Nick Gage, beating Drake Younger, beating Akira, those are top tier talents, and to have all three of them in one go, and then still go with Schlack, who I feel like I've been chasing since XPW. It doesn't feel great to lose, but I felt like I even surprised him. I'm not the same kid that was chasing his reign in XPW. And he's just getting older, and I'm just getting better, and I'm just getting into even the next level and elevating every year. So we'll see next year if anyone wants it as bad as I do. That year he wanted it just that much more. I think it's because he had such an emotional tie to TOD. He's been in it 6 times, never won it. I don't plan on waiting 6 years to try to win it. So if I can do it in half the time, I think that's something I could hang my hat on, and that I think he in turn has to respect. But that respect is again earned, not given. So we'll see.
True. Yeah, that's true. What's one match that you've never done that you've always wanted to? From match stipulation to opponent.
I've never ever wrestled in a cage other than Cage of Death. Never done like a traditional cage match. I've never done an I Quit match. Something I've always thought I wanted to do because I don't think anyone can make me do it. But I think of all the things I'd want to do, the biggest one is I've never done a Texas death match.
Oh,
Never done Texas death match. I'm a big Terry Funk fan, big fan of like old territory wrestling. So a traditional Texas death match where, pinfall, then the standing 10 count, no time limit. Like, I would love to do that. That would be fun just to all of that kind of legacy in it. But other than that, I'd love to do that kind of match. Opponent wise, the only person that kind of eludes me is just I grew up, and to some people it's a secret. I very much was a huge fan, and I really did respect Matt Tremont. And as I got into this business and the path he started taking, I started to kind of not lose respect from Matty, but just question his motives. And we got to tangle a couple times, and he actually kind of cost me that first tournament I had with Schlack, at the King of the Kill. It was our first time ever fighting one-on-one. And I never got that back. And it's always been in the back of my mind. And he's been on a run lately. And I think he's found a new second wind in his career. And I feel like I'm starting to come into my own. I would love to, in any of those matches, any fight, I would love to prove to him that there's a new guard that's coming in deathmatch wrestling. And it might be time for him to, that he's the Onita now.
Oh.
And, it might be time for him to just kind of shake hands and kiss babies.
Oh, shit.
So,
why did you drop Judge Joe and just go by Dred now?
Originally I did it because I took on this moniker because my whole life and my whole upbringing and before wrestling, I felt like there was no place in the world where I would fit in. And I was always fighting, whether it was verbally or physically, for a place at the table. and any conversation, to be a part of society in general. And wrestling was the first place where that I was kind of able to dictate who sits at the table and who can actually be tough. Because if you get in the ring with me, it's just you and me, and we see what
I was
happens.
there when
Yep.
you and
It's
Was
just
that?
you. It, yeah, it's just you and them.
Yeah,
So
it's just me and them. And so I wanted to. It started off really by taking the moniker of like, if you think you're tough, I'll be the judge of that. Like, and so the better I got, then the tougher the rest of the people had to be. And then it got to a point where I was no longer looking at my opponents, seeing if they were tough. I stopped caring about that. I needed to get to the next place of where I wanted to go in this business to become a professional. I mean, this is my job. This is my 24/7 job, as being a professional wrestler. And I needed to stop focusing on everybody else. I had to focus on myself. And it wasn't about gimmicks. It wasn't about monikers. It was about, what about proving a point? It was about fighting and being the best fighter, making the most money, having the best life for me, my family, and that I can. And so most of the guys in the back just call me Dred anyway.
I respect
Most of the
that.
fans knew me by Dred. And there's something about that, hearing the name, even sometimes, the word itself, the looming feeling of despair that's coming. I stopped caring about the other person and how tough they were, and rather I wanted to instill that feeling in them when they hear my music. That looming feeling of despair coming. That's what you feel. And I want them to feel it. I want them to experience it. And I want the fans to feel it and experience it. And just, I want them to have to say my name. I mean, so many people may not like me, but when you talk about tournament of death and some of the most violent tournaments of death, you're have to say my name.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about some of the toughest dudes in the planet in this scene, you're gonna have to say my name. If you want to talk about people that have put their bodies on the line, you got to say my name. And so that's been kind of the focus more so, is just simplifying it, dropping the gimmick, and exposing the man that's across the ring from me. That I'm not here to fuck around. I don't got a wig and a gavel. I'm there, blue collar, in Carhartt pants and a fucking shirt on my back that's fucking tagged up. That just like the streets I grew up on, just tattered fucking walls of graffiti and uh, colorful, uh, comfortable bliss. And that's where I never want to forget my roots of that. Growing up in the LA area and seeing that, I want people to experience where I was from and what I've experienced. They're gonna feel it, because that's a big part of where I am today. It started there and then ended a ring.
I respect that. So, what's your biggest deathmatch goal at the moment?
Biggest goal
Yeah, your biggest goal.
is to win the tournament of death. Winning the tournament of death is the biggest goal I have in all of wrestling. Winning all the biggest tournaments, the King of the Death Match, that was once IWA Mid South, and now is responds to 7. Winning the tournament of death, beating some of the best in the business, beating them and decisively beating them. I mean, I beat Nick Gage, and then all respect to Nikki, but there's to my mind, there's bigger fish to fry. I mean, I called out the Necro Butcher at King of the Death matches for Last Man Standing, because I want to see if I can stand with the Godfather and go toe to toe with him. And again, I ain't the same kid that when I fought him a couple years ago. I'm a different beast, different man, and he's bad, but I'm bad too. And so I want to beat those guys. I want to beat Schlack. I want to beat Ricochet Page. I want to beat Eric Ryans. I want to show these guys who carried the banner for so long that the old guard, it's passing, and I'm the new guard, and I'm going to be the spearhead of it. And it ain't these pretenders. I promise that. And in turn, I hope to gain their respect in it, that they can know that this business is going to be left better in my hands than the hands of anybody else. So,
Oh yeah. Where do you see your career in 5 to 10 years from now?
um, I don't think about it. I don't. I just think one match at a time, one goal at a time. It's winning tournament to death. Um, that's the thing about professional wrestling. You start, and when you start planning all these things out, and one thing doesn't go your way, it can really mess with you mentally, you know. And now the focus of being one. There's a reason why boxers they fight one fight every 6 months, because for 6 months their focus is this one match, this one fight, and then once that's over, they regroup, they recalibrate, and then they find what the next opponent is. You know, if you have all these plans of I'm going to go 60-0 and then become the world heavyweight champion, and you lose once, it starts to mess with your head. So I don't think about that as much as like I know I'll be wrestling. I know I'll be fighting in some capacity, and I'll be a part of the business in some way.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. How much did the rain take play at TOD 22?
The rain,
Yeah, how much did the rain affect y'all?
dude. Off the rip, with me and Drake and Akira, I slipped, and they kicked me
Yeah,
around the face. I was like, did not
and
expect that to happen. Everything was wet. Uh, it was huge impact, and then also people don't realize it affects even the weapons, like the glass, the barbed wire. It's all because of the cold. It gets more dense and hard and less forgiving.
oh
So
shit.
glass shards longer and sharper. It's cold, so it's harder to break. So it's just everything hurts more. I mean, like it's like when when you're a kid and you go out and play football, right? And you go throw a football with cold hands. It hurts more when you catch that ball than on a hot day, where there's a lot more give. Same with tires. You know, you go kick a pair of tires on a hot day. There's a lot more give. I
Yeah.
mean, the same. It's just science. Those things are gonna hurt more. So it played a huge factor. The slipping. Also, rain burns. It burned all my cuts while I'm wrestling. So you're just like feeling like
Oh
acid being
shit.
poured on you. You're like, fuck, this sucks. So you endure, you push through. And honestly, I'm very glad. I'm thankful to have been able to experience it, because only me and Schlack know what that's like. You know,
That's
we know what it's like to be in that ring and to put everything you have. Not that our opponents earlier that in the ring didn't put everything they had, but to go through 2 other matches, a total of 3 other opponents, and to go out there in the rain and experience that cold, that change in humidity, the weapons hitting a different way, and to put everything out there to try to win something. Only me and that man know what it's like, and that's hopefully something that I'll be able to use moving forward in the next matches I have to, you know, endure that.
I understand that. I notice you have a lot of tattoos. Do you have a most meaningful one?
Um, Not really. They're just. I mean, the only one I have that I don't really show is my chest.
I like the one on your chest.
There's 3 dogs. It's for I have 3 boys of my own, and mostly because my grandma, who was a big supporter of me and that raised me, she hated tattoos, hated them, and I got a lot of them just because I was an asshole, and she used to tell me an old proverb every time I'd get in trouble. She would say, like a dog to his vomit, so does a fool return to his old folly. And when she passed away in memoriam, me and my brother got dog tattoos, big dog tattoos on the chest. He has one big dog, it's like a big Rottweiler, and I got 3 dogs.
Oh, that's one of my favorites, the one on your chest.
Yeah.
Is there a venue that you absolutely hate or cannot stand?
Venue?
Yeah. Like locker room reasons or It's just not what you think it was. Hearing about it.
I mean, I'm the worst person to ask. I worked for in like in a shitty warehouse in San Diego for a lot of the beginning of my career, and nothing really tops how bad and carny it was. So most of these places I come into, I'm like, there's actually chairs here. That's crazy. Like that's cool, you know. Um, Other than that, the only time I've ever had a bad time at one is and I don't know, it wasn't necessarily the venue itself. Is when I wrestled at the Houston Premier Arena in the winter in December. It was so cold,
Yeah.
but I went to go to the bathroom and I was like, water was dripping on me from the rain outside.
What the fuck?
I'm like, and the toilet was soaked in rainwater, and I'm like, I just don't fuck with this. I'm like, it's too cold to even piss in this indoor venue. So I was like, but I've been there before again, and it's been fine. Like there's not really a venue that I'm like, never again. I have venues I definitely like, more prefer, but yeah, nothing where I'm like, I'm never coming here again.
What's your favorite venue?
The Berwyn Eagle in Chicago.
I should
There's
have
so
known
much
that one.
wrestling.
Everybody loves that one.
Yeah, it's there's so much wrestling history there.
Hmm.
The Berwyn Eagle in Chicago is one of my favorites. Um, and the field, DJ's farm. First time I went to the field, I remember it was like Field of Dreams. You're just like, whoa, so much history here. But no, I love the Berwyn Eagle. I love Chicago. You say Chicago's cool. There was an awesome venue that I wrestled at, and I wrestled for a company called Canadian Deathmatch, but I wrestled for in Hamilton. They had forget what the venue was called, but it had had a nice little balcony area, a nice and it wasn't too some of those balconies like at the Hart Ballroom, are just you're so separated,
Yeah.
This felt intimate, but still like it felt like there was space for people to move at, and the locker room was plenty of space. There were showers, that was nice, but yeah, I mean the Berwyn Eagle, just like I just have a special place for that place.
Where would you say you got the biggest crowd reaction at? Like everywhere you wrestled.
The biggest crowd reaction I've ever gotten, I would probably say
Or TOD this year.
TOD. I felt like I got a pretty good, like they still hated me. The two places that come to my mind first off was the first time I wrestled for Circle Six, because I was a complete surprise and I didn't think people would know who I was, because it was a different crowd. It was a no ring ballroom. I was in this scramble it was like a 3-way between a couple guys, and then they asked me, hey, would you come on and be a surprise entrant? And I'm like, you might want to announce me. People might not know who I am. Like maybe kind of promo about it. Like, no, come be a surprise. And I showed up, my music hit, and I was upstairs. And right when I came down the stairs, I heard the crowd chanting my name. Like just the whole place lit up. Because I'm from the LA area, so we're here in LA, and I barely get to wrestle out here. And I came through the curtain, and I was just flogged by people. I mean, someone threw an XPW hat at me. Someone had a chair that they painted for me. And I just went, it just motivated the hell me to beat the piss out of these dudes. I brought a nail board in, like it was gnarly. And so that was the one that comes to mind. And the other one would probably be just recently I was on tour with Circle Six. It was me, Dave Reckoning, and Alex Cologne tagging together against Shotzi Blackheart, Matt Justice, and Rob Shit. And we've been coming out to Creed's One Last Breath and not hitting the curtain until like a minute and 46 seconds. And the crowd reaction of people singing along has been like one of the coolest parts of us teaming together. Those two, oh, I think probably one of the biggest ones. It wasn't because of me though. I will give the man credit where credit's due. I tagged in Texas in Austin recently, and the Necro Butcher was my partner,
Oh shit!
and we got a huge pop for that. I was like, oh man, dude, they love that man in Texas. But yeah, those are the two biggest reactions I think I have. Negative reactions was the first time I wrestled in the Houston Premier Arena, and I beat the shit out of one of their local guys to the point of like after the match, I continued to beat the shit out of them. They were throwing garbage in the ring. They were throwing shit at me. Rob Black came out to try to stop me from beating his ass. I popped Rob Black in the face,
Oh
and
shit!
and they threw more shit at me. That's probably one of the biggest reactions I've had.
How was your time at XPW?
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was a rare. I was so lucky to be so young into that in the business and be there amongst a lot of great people. I miss it. It was. I mean, you got so many. I got to witness so many dream matches firsthand. I wrestled the best of the best. I wrestled Necro Butcher there. I wrestled Masada there. I wrestled Big Joe there. Eric Ryan multiple times. Homeless Jimmy. Someone from the West Coast. That's a pretty big deal. Yeah, it was a really cool time. I always hold my breath that it would come back someday. But as a West Coast guy, XPW was it was cool to see even come back for a second time. So
Yeah,
but I love.
Have you ever wrestled at the Gathering?
No, I would love to wrestle at the Gathering though.
that'd
Oh,
be fucking awesome.
I love, dude. I'm not. I never drank in my life. Um, I've always been a straight edge guy growing up. But I do love Fango. I love Fango a lot, and I wasn't a big ICP guy. Like it wasn't that I didn't like it. I wasn't super into it. But when I would do, I just the culture about it, playing backyard wrestling as a kid, I was like, yo, I would love to wrestle at the Gathering. It sounds awesome. I would hope to. Hopefully, one day I get to do that. But just wrestle for the Juggalos in general. It just looks like a good time.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I have a question for you, Dred.
All right.
How did it feel defeating Nick Gage at where it all started for him?
I didn't care. I didn't care. All I cared about was beating him. I just care about beating him. I meant what I said in the promo. I don't care about the legacy. I don't care about what you've done for CZW. It's about what you've done for it lately. And he is a grown man. He makes his own decisions and he goes and does what he wants, and that's fine what he wants. But the truth of the matter is everybody left CZW behind. Everybody gave up on CZW. Dred decided to show up to CZW and to prove that Combat Zone is still a place where more opportunities and more weight can be carried in this business. Myself, and then I'll give respect to them, even though I don't think they're as deserving of the credit they get. I'll give this respect. Mickey Knuckles is tough as nails, and Mickey Knuckles stuck it out in CZW at a time where there wasn't a lot of opportunities for women, and especially for her to wrestle men. And she will take it. She will take a beating, and she'll keep getting up. And we have our differences, but me and her were there sticking it out and trying to make a name for not just ourselves but for CZW. And then the second we had our TOD spots and we were fighting in the rings and fighting in the cage, fighting in the finals, off the scaffolds, all of a sudden these people start coming out the woodworks, you know? And
That's true.
It's flattering because you think, okay, it's a sign that you're doing good work because it means that people want to go where the attention is. But for the upper management to give the attention that you drew and deserved away to those people because of who they used to be, and now I have a problem. And I made my problems clear if they weren't clear. I hope they're clear now. Did not give a flying fuck. I came in there to fight. I'm glad he showed up to work. I do every time. When you see that name, DRED, on a fucking flyer, you can guarantee I'm gonna be there. If I'm not there, you would see an announcement from me way before, and or they are announcing me and I was never talked to. But if you see that I am advertising that I am going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And so I know that with that, we handled it. We did what we did, and I actually give him this. I don't have to like the man, but he's tough as nails. He's tough as nails. You got to be to get in the ring and to do it as long as he's done it. But ultimately, didn't give a fuck. And I think he didn't give a fuck either. I didn't think he cared about the thought of I got to prove myself. He didn't need to prove shit. He just thought here's some young guy coming from my spot, and I got to fight for my spot. And I thought here's some old head who's in my spot. I need to take my fucking spot.
Yeah.
The fucking Aunt Mickie had him pissed in the TOD finals 2021. Yeah. Yeah, had him fucking pissed. I was laughing my ass off because, like, Aunt Mickie goes out and she goes to the back or whatever, and Dre was about to take the trophy, and the man just gets more and more and more mad. And I don't know if it was a work or if it was all seriousness, but it was so fucking good. If it was a work, it was fucking amazing, bro. That's actually what sold me on to being one of your fans, was that. And the way that you can just endure fucking pain. And dude, you're just that's what made me like, I gotta see more of him. I gotta see more. And then at TOD this year, I was like, oh yeah, we need him in a fucking Carnage Cup. We need more Dred.
Yeah. I appreciate it. No, I stay what's on my mind. What's the point of trying to play nice in a business where we're trying to kill each other to be the best, to either make more money, make a career, prove that you're the best, and to win championships and tournaments. So Mickie turned her back to me. You learn what happens when you turn your fucking back on me. And good on her for duking it out. She got lucky. Just that close. But hey, I didn't apologize. So
That's all my questions, and I thank you for your time, sir. If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, go ahead and ask. Yes, sir. I thank you, Dred.
Thank you,
no
Dred.
problem. Thank you guys.
No